And what we're going to look at today is some aspects of defense involving looking at what's in dummy and trying to figure out the best defense. Sometimes you will want to attack dummy's weak suits. Sometimes you'll want to knock out the entries, and we'll look at some situations involving various aspects like that. Let's have a look at this hand here, where South opened 1 heart, North bid 2 diamonds, South rebid 2 no trump, showing a balanced hand with presumably 15 to 16 points, and North went to 3 no trump. And your partner here leads the Jack of spades, and down comes dummy, and you need to stop to have a little think at this point. So what can we see in dummy? Well, we can see that long diamond suit. That's going to be a good source of tricks for declarer. And we can see also that my partner has led the Jack of spades, which looks like it's top of sequence. They've got Jack 10-9 or something like that. So that looks like a pretty good lead, except declarer, of course, has got the king and the queen in dummy. So let's suppose declarer calls for the queen, and let's suppose we decide to win that with the ace. What we now need to do is decide what we're going to play next. And what we've got is that ace of diamonds. And what we're hoping is that we will be able to stop declarer taking all those diamonds by taking the ace of diamonds and blocking their communication. But of course, for that to work, what we also have to do is to knock out the other entry to dummy, which is the king of spades. So you might be planning to do this anyway, but certainly in a situation like this, what we're going to play is another spade back. Here, your partner plays the 8. That's good enough to force out the king. And so if they don't play the king, they now play another spade, and now they are in dummy. And let's suppose declarer next starts with the king of diamonds, and let's suppose you decide not to take that, which is a good idea, and suppose your partner plays the 2 of diamonds. Now, if you are familiar with giving a count signal, you should be able to work out how many diamonds your partner might have. And I'm going to launch a poll in a moment. And the question is, what does that 2 of diamonds show? How many diamonds might your partner have started off with? So have a little think about that. And in a moment, I'm going to launch a poll. And there's actually multiple choices here as to how many diamonds your partner could have started off with for them to play that 2 of diamonds on the first diamond. So have a little count of the missing diamonds, work out how many diamonds your partner might have, and here comes the poll. And the question is, how many diamonds could your partner have started off with? Okay, let's have a look at the results, and let's see what they show. And we've got pretty much around 50% for both 1, 2, and 3, and 22% said 4. So you're not all right here. Let's work it out. So the 2 is obviously your partner's lowest card. And what that says to me is that they did not start with 2 diamonds. They did not start with an even number of diamonds. If you start, this is a situation where as West, you see that long suit in dummy, you should realize your partner may have the ace of diamonds and needs to take it at the right moment. And you give a count signal here to indicate how many diamonds you started off with in that suit. And when you play a low card, the 2 of diamonds is obviously your lowest card, you are either showing an odd number, or conceivably that the two of diamonds is a singleton. Now, let's have a little count of these diamonds from East's point of view. There were, you can count them at the moment. There are four have been played so far, and there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that there are 3 diamonds still outstanding, or perhaps a less confusing way to think about this is there were 5 diamonds in dummy. You had 3 diamonds in your hand, so that's 8. That leaves 5 diamonds between the other 2 hands. Okay, so West probably, if the 2 is your partner's lowest card, that is either a singleton, or perhaps more likely it is a 3-card suit. And if it is a 3-card suit, that meant that Declarer started off with 2 diamonds. And if Declarer does have 2 diamonds, what you should do is take your diamond on the second trick, and now Declarer will not be able to make any more diamond tricks. If your partner's 2 of diamonds is a singleton, then that means that actually of the other diamonds are all with the South hand. South started with 4 diamonds, and in that case you cannot prevent them running the diamond suit. But the more likely scenario is that West started with 3, which leaves 2 for South. Those of you who said that West could have started with 2 diamonds are wrong here, or are not familiar with giving count signals. But that's what the play of a low card means, that they started with an odd number. Anyone have any comments or questions on that? So, so if you trust your partner's signals, and they then play another diamond, you would then take your ace of diamonds at this time, because that is the last diamond that South has. South that started with 2. If you don't trust your partner's signals, or think they might not know how to signal, then I would play low again and take the 3rd diamond. But of course, your goal is to hold Declarer to as few diamond tricks as possible. So if you trust your partner's signal, you will play the ace here, take that trick, and the question is now, what should you play now? Okay, well, what we've done is we've stopped, we hope, Declarer running the diamonds, and we're now going to switch to another suit. We don't have any more spades to return, so we're going to lead a suit where we hope we'll be able to make tricks. And there are 2 possibilities here, hearts or clubs. But based on the bidding that South opened with 1 heart, I think it's more likely that we'll be able to make tricks in clubs. So having taken the ace of diamonds, we're going to now switch to a club. And we'll leave the jack of clubs here. And let's just bring up the 4 hands and have a look at the situation here. So when the jack of clubs is played, Declarer will probably play the king or the queen, but your partner now has the ace and will be able to win that. And now we'll be able to cash 1 spade. So they will take 1 spade trick. They might play a club back, and you might actually be able to force out the king. Declarer will cash his hearts now, but at the end, if you keep the right thing, you might even make another club trick and hold Declarer to 7 tricks there. So this is the layout there. And you can see that your partner started with 4, 3, 2, and so gave a count to indicate they started with an odd number of cards by playing the 2 there. Anyone have any comments or questions on that? If we go back to this point here where you take your ace of diamonds At this point, even if you play a heart rather than a club, you can still defeat Declarer by 2 tricks here. So as long as you take your diamond at the right moment, you can shift to either of the weak suits in dummy here. Hearts or clubs work equally well according to the computer, and Declarer will still not make 3 no trumps there. Any comments or questions on that one? Let's have a look at another one. And this time the bidding is the same and the lead is the same. Your partner leads the Jack of Spades. And again, they play the Queen and you decide to take your ace. And again, you've got to decide what to play here. And last time when we did this, we carried on in spades in order to knock out the entry. But this North hand is a little bit stronger. And in particular, it doesn't look like we'll be able to make any diamond tricks here. Last time we had the ace of diamonds and we were able to stop the diamond suit from running. But this time, that diamond suit is that much stronger. And even if your partner had, for example, the Queen of Diamonds here, that would probably not stop the suit from running. Declarer will be able to finesse against it, or it might drop when the diamonds are played. So this time, the diamond suit is ready to run. So what you want to play here is another suit. Don't carry on in spades, because Declarer will just win that and then run the diamonds. You have to be aggressive here and try to get any tricks that are coming your way and take them now before Declarer takes all those diamonds. And what you're going to do is lead into one of the weak suits in dummy. And again, based on the bidding, you should probably switch to a club here. So again, if I bring up the 4 hands, you can see the only suit where you'll be able to grab any tricks now is in club. So I would lead a club here. The Jack of Clubs is the normal normal card to play. And if that wins the trick, I will carry on in clubs. And we are hoping to take as many clubs as we can before Declarer gets a chance to run all those diamonds. And played like this with this layout, you will be able to make your club tricks before Declarer can get in and take all the hearts and all the diamonds. Okay, so you were lucky here that your partner had something in clubs, but no matter what happened, if you didn't switch to clubs, then you probably would really struggle to make many tricks at all there. Anyone have any comments or questions on that?
Yes, Tony.
Hi.
If Declarer took the King of Clubs, then
Yeah.
and West then obviously over trumped, and West then played the Queen of Clubs.
Yeah. So at this point here, if you leave the Jack, you're saying South should maybe play the King, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's suppose they do play the King. Well,
Chose the ace.
then you can take the ace. Now,
and then the Queen.
Right. So you can take the Queen.
Yeah. Oh, and the 10 over there would win the next trick. Okay.
Yeah, you got the 10. Yes. Okay. So Declarer. So you're going to make, if you play it this way, as it happens, Declarer will make the contract because
right.
the 10 of clubs will block the
Oh, okay. I see that.
I mean, it works out that the right way to play this, if they play the King, is to take the ace and then to lead back a low club.
Right.
Partner's 10. Okay. So
I see.
So that works out better on this hand. Then I
okay. Thank you.
Can defeat it, right? But it's obviously. But the main thing is to go after your club tricks before they disappear. Let's try this one. And here, North opened 1 diamond, and South responded 1-no trump, and that ended the bidding. And your partner here led the 7 of spades. Now, we need to have a little think about this. We've got a similar situation in diamonds to the first one, where there's a long diamond suit, but we've got the ace. And the other thing this time is there's the ace of hearts in dummy, and there's also the king of spades. Now, suppose declarer plays a low spade from dummy. This is the kind of situation where you do not want to play your ace. In all likelihood, your partner has led their best suit, perhaps their 4th highest, and they're very likely to have the queen here. So you don't want to waste your ace, which would set up the king. And the right card to play here is the jack. And most of the time that will win the trick. So you've won the first trick with the jack of spades. And I've got the second poll for you of the afternoon, which is, what do you think you should play now? You've just won the jack of spades. And I'm going to launch a poll in a moment, giving you some options about what to play now. Have a look at the results. And 53% went for a heart, 37% for a club, and 11% chose the ace of spades. So let's have a little think about it. Well, as I said, this is very similar to the first one, where you've got the ace of diamonds, and you hope that declarer will not be able to take all those diamonds, as you'll take your ace at the right moment. But for that to be an effective strategy, you have to also make sure that declarer has no more entries to the north hand. And that means that, yes, I would go for a heart here. I'm hoping that by playing hearts, I will be able to knock out the ace of hearts, and that will prevent declarer being able to run the diamonds. By the way, playing the ace of spades is a terrible play here, because it sets up the king of spades, and you really want to try to prevent the king of spades from making a trick by keeping your ace of spades in reserve. So what we're going to do is try to prevent declarer getting to dummy by switching to a heart now. By the way, the other thing I will comment on is this bidding sequence where North opens 1 diamond and South bids 1-no trump. That almost certainly means that South does not have a 4-card major and is much more likely to have a long club suit here. So I'm much more attracted to leading hearts here and not trying to grab my tricks in clubs, because I'm not likely to make that many tricks. It's much more likely that South has got a club suit, and the strategy instead should be to try to knock out the ace of hearts. So
Sorry,
that's
me again, Tony. How do we know South hasn't got the king of hearts?
So
Then
South may
the
have,
king and the ace.
Yeah, so South may have the king of hearts, and in that case you can't you won't be able to knock out the ace. You won't. He can take the king, and we'll have time to set up the diamonds and get there. So you don't know for sure, but you know that South doesn't have very many points, and you know, so there's no guarantee of this being successful, but it's probably the best bet to try to prevent the diamonds being set up. Okay, so you're right, it's not a guaranteed strategy here, but it's probably the best option. So if you're lucky and you lead the queen, then if that holds a trick, you're going to play another heart and knock out that ace. Okay, now when declarer plays the diamonds, you're again going to be watching what your partner plays. Here they've played the 6 of diamonds, which looks like it might be a high card. So if that is a high card, that could well be that they started with 2 cards, and that would mean that declarer started with 3. So if that's the case, we're going to let them win the second trick too. And there you are, see your partner played the 2 after the 6. So if they play another diamond now, you're going to win that one with your ace, and you hope that has prevented declarer making the last 2 diamonds. At this point, I think I'll probably carry on with hearts. That was working quite well before. So you can take another heart trick. Your partner takes the king, and I suppose they play the queen at this point. Okay, let's just see what's going on here. They played the queen. Your declarer actually ducked that just to give him a chance to make the last 3 clubs. But if you carry on now with spades, they can win that, play another spade, you'll get in with your ace, and declarer will make the last 2 clubs. But you will hold declarer to 5 tricks there if you find the right strategy, which is to switch to a heart. Yes, you're absolutely right, Isabel. South could have had the king of hearts, in which case that wouldn't have worked. But it is always likely in layouts like this that the South will have quite a long club suit here, because they didn't bid hearts or spades, they didn't support the diamonds. So it makes it likely that they've got clubs. So that's another reason for switching to a heart there. Okay, let's try another one here. Here, South opened with a weak 2 spades. Your partner doubled, but North jumped to 4 spades, and that ended the auction. And your partner has led the king of clubs. And you need to have a little think about this. And looking at the suits, try and figure out where you might be able to make tricks here. So I can see that I'm going to make a trick with the king of spades. Although North has got a fantastic spade suit there, remember South has got a 6-card suit. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 they've got between them. So I've got 2 spades, so my partner doesn't have any, I expect. But I'm going to make a trick with the king of spades there. Now, where else am I going to make tricks? Well, my partner's got a sequence headed by the king, so I'm hoping we're going to be able to make 2 clubs, 1 spade, and I'm not going to make any hearts, am I? That strong heart suit is there, but I'm hoping maybe we can make a diamond trick, perhaps. So let's suppose they lead the club, the king of clubs. What I'm going to do is give an encouraging signal on the first one, and if they play another club, the queen, I need to think about this, because what I want to do is, rather than leave my partner winning this trick, it's going to be much better if I can win this trick, and therefore will be able to lead into dummy's weakness. So what I'm going to do on this hand is to play the ace of clubs and then play back a diamond. I'm hoping that my partner will be able to make a trick that way. If I bring up the 4 hands, you can see that your partner's got the king of diamonds over there, and if you had left them winning the trick with the queen of clubs, they would then be in a bad situation, that if they lead a diamond, they're leading away from their king. But if you gain the lead, you're able to lead into dummy's weakness, and that may help you, your partner, make any tricks in diamonds coming their way if you lead the suit. By the way, you definitely don't want to be carrying on in clubs, because as well as it being obvious that they can ruff, they might even get a ruff and discard here. So much best, the thing is for you to take your ace of clubs and then lead back a diamond. Now, on this particular hand, declarer's got the ace, but your partner should give an encouraging signal here of the 10, let's say, to say, okay, I've got something in diamonds. That was a good switch. And let's suppose Declara now starts drawing trumps. They discover a bad break. They discover that West doesn't have any trumps. So there's no point finessing anymore. He's always going to win one. And in fact, the best play by Declara, having won, is to just take that ace, leave the king out, and just try to cash as many hearts as they can to discard their losers. Declara has got another potential loser there in diamonds, and the best option here is to try to cash the hearts here and try to discard diamonds. But if East is on the ball, he can go up on the very first chance he gets, roughs the Queen of Hearts, and then bear in mind his partner gave a signal before to play a diamond and can make the King of Diamonds there. So you can again defeat Declara on this hand by making, as well as the King of Spades, by making 2 clubs and a diamond. But it has to be you that overtakes the second club so that you can lead a diamond into dummy's weakness. Do let me know if you have any questions on that. And let's try this last one. Here it's gone 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 spades. And your partner leads the Queen of Diamonds, which is top of a sequence. And again, you should be thinking about this hand as soon as you see dummy, thinking about how many tricks you might be able to make in each suit. So in spades, well, I can see some pretty good spades in dummy and South Open spades. So unlikely I'll be able to make it. We'll be able to make any tricks there. Similarly, the heart suit is really strong in dummy. But there's weakness in dummy in the diamonds and in the clubs. So those are the suits where I'm hoping to make tricks. Now, your partner's led the Queen of Diamonds here. So that's top of a sequence, and it means that Declara has got the king. So you will only be able to make 1 diamond trick. Okay, so it may seem a waste, but because of the Doubleton diamond in dummy, you can tell that you cannot make more than 1 diamond trick there. You may think it's a shame your partner's led the Queen of Diamonds, but it was a normal lead. And what you want to do here is go up with your ace. There's no point playing low and letting Declara win with the king. You play your ace, and now I've got the final poll of the afternoon, is having won the ace of diamonds, what card do you think you should play back now? Okay, let's have a look at the results. And I'm very pleased to say that nearly all of you have decided to switch to a club. 2/3 going for the 2 of clubs and 30% going for the Jack of clubs. And let's have a look at this and see what we think. Well, yes, a club is the obvious suit to go for. There's no point playing a heart. There's no point playing your singleton spade. That's just going to help Declara, you know, if your partner happened to have the Queen of Spades, for example, it would just trap it by leading that. So all those are very poor choices. But the club is the right lead, and the normal lead from Jack 8-3-2, like if you're on opening lead, is you lead low from 4 to an honor. But in a situation like this, it can often work out better if you lead a card higher than the highest club in dummy. And the purpose of that is to help you retain the lead if there are missing honors in the south and the west hand. So if I bring up the 4 hands here, and if we got to lay out something like this, if I click here on the GIB link, it's saying the only defense, the only card that will defeat the contract now is if you play the Jack of clubs. So it's a change from the normal card we lead in a situation like this to lead a higher card that might retain the lead. So you can see that if we play a low club here and declare a place low, your partner can win with the 10, but then if they carry on in that suit, the declarer will make a trick with the king. But if you play the jack here, now the king is trapped, and your partner here, of course, should let you retain the lead with the jack here so that you can play another club, and they will be able to defeat the contract by making those club tricks. After that, whatever is played, declarer will be able to draw trumps, and we'll be able to claim the rest of the trick and just go down one trick. So there's only really one defense to defeat this contract, which is going up with the ace at trick 1 and then switching to a club. And on this particular layout, the jack of clubs is the best card to play there. Anyone have any comments or questions on that? Anyway, so that's the theme of the hands today, looking at dummy and trying to work out the best defense in those situations. And we'll start the game at 2. If anyone would like to get a partner and would like to speak up now, if you could unmute yourselves.